How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan. Born to battle. Start just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the star shines bright, that's when we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. And Cowboys Nation, I hate, and I can't preface this enough, I hate being the bearer of bad news, but somebody has to say it. Instead of getting people's hopes up with the potential defensive coaching search, I gotta sprinkle in a dose of reality when it comes to the big names some in Cowboys Nation are asking for. This could also answer some of the questions as to why the Dallas Cowboys front office hasn't requested formal interviews with these top defensive coaching candidates. So let's go ahead and get into that during this Raw and Uncut. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, Raw and Uncut.
Keeping it real. They keep it real. That's real.
First and foremost, Cowboys Nation, I want to say this. Don't shoot the messenger. These are just my thoughts as to why Cowboys Nation isn't hearing the names of top coaches being interviewed for the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator spot. So if you heard your favorite candidate's name in this video, don't curse me out in the comments section and don't go on social media saying that Angry Cowboys fan doesn't want to see the Dallas Cowboys win a championship, because that's far from the truth. I just want to keep it a buck with y'all and maybe shed some light on the subject as to why the name of the top candidates isn't being mentioned in the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator search. But all right, Cowboys Nation, during this defensive coordinator search, Cowboys Nation has wanted Jerry and Stephen Jones to swing for the fences and acquire top names to come to Dallas and become the defensive coordinator of our squad. Names like Brian Flores, Jim Schwartz, Sean McDermott, Bill Belichick, Raheem Morris, Mike Tomlin, and so on. So let's go ahead and talk about Jim Schwartz first. The Dallas Cowboys fan base is looking at the Cleveland Browns and seeing that Jim Schwartz has been instrumental in how the defense has been playing for the Cleveland Browns since they hired him. They see how aggressive the Browns defense is under Schwartz, and they want that for our defense. I do too, Cowboys Nation. The thing is, there's a couple of things that are barring the Dallas Cowboys from making the phone call and offering Jim Schwartz the defensive coordinator job for our team. One of those reasons is the fact that the Cleveland Browns just fired their head coach. They fired their head coach, and Jim Schwartz is a prime candidate to take the reins over as the Cleveland Browns head coach. I mean, really, Cowboys Nation, who would turn down a head coaching position to become the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator? Who would turn down a head coaching position to become an underpaid coordinator for our Cowboys? I know I wouldn't, and neither would you. I would rather stick with the organization and the players that I'm accustomed to and know on a personal and professional level. The next reason is the fact that the Jones boys are notorious for paying their head coach little to no money. I mean, Mike McCarthy got paid $4 million a year to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach, much less a defensive coordinator. Brian Schottenheimer is getting paid around $4.5 million to be the head coach. How would it look for Jerry and Stephen Jones to pay a coordinator more than what they paid their head coach, Cowboys Nation? I know if I were Brian Schottenheimer, I would riot in the streets if this were to happen. Not only that, but why would a coordinator want to make a lateral move to uncharted territory, Cowboys Nation? The Dallas Cowboys defense has some great pieces to build around, but you would be entering a staff with only 1 year under its belt. Not only that, but they would have to come in and rebuild the Dallas Cowboys secondary. Some coaches may be up to the challenge, while other coaches may want to come in to an already established setup. Also, with Jim Schwartz, bro's still under contract with the Cleveland Browns until the end of 2026. The Browns organization has every right to turn anyone down from interviewing Jim Schwartz, especially for a lateral move. So, a lateral move while under contract for less money while also having the possibility to be the head coach of the current team that you're a part of? it wouldn't look attractive for Jim Schwartz to come to be the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. Now let's go ahead and move on to Bill Belichick. I know that the name and the history is so intriguing for Cowboys Nation. Bill Belichick is a Super Bowl winning head coach and has pretty much turned things into gold that he has coached. I mean, except for the North Carolina Tar Heels as well as the New England Patriots after Tom Brady left. I feel this name is just like the name of Rex Ryan. The question, has the NFL passed him by? It continues to linger in my head, Cowboys Nation. Not only that, but everyone knows that Bill Belichick would want more autonomy over the defensive personnel, something that Jerry and Stephen Jones hasn't given a coach after Jimmy Johnson. Not only that, but the constant threat of him taking Brian Schottenheimer's job would continuously linger around the organization. Talking heads would be talking about it every time Brian Schottenheimer even coughed wrong. This would create the unnecessary animosity within the Dallas Cowboys locker room. And not only that, but does anyone think that he would even come to the Dallas Cowboys to coach for mere pennies? No, I don't think so, Cowboys Nation. Jerry and Stephen Jones would have to break the bank to bring Bill Belichick here. And just like Jim Schwartz, it would be unfair to Brian Schottenheimer and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff to pay a new coach more than what you pay your other coordinators as well as the head coach. That's just not going to happen, Cowboys Nation. And let's go ahead and talk about Mike Tomlin real quick, because I think it lines up to a couple of things for him. One, I think that Mike Tomlin may be done with coaching in the NFL. If not flat out retiring, I believe he's going to take maybe a year off just, to weigh out his options. The Pittsburgh Steelers were going to keep him as the head coach, but he decided to move on. Even if he does want to coach in the NFL, I don't believe it'll be for a coordinator position. It would be for a head coach position or nothing, so Cowboys Nation can X him right off the list. But the main coach that I want to talk about is Brian Flores. A lot of Cowboys fans has him as the number one pick to come to Dallas to be the defensive coordinator, and I don't believe it's going to happen, Cowboys Nation. I believe this is a fairy tale that a lot of Cowboys fans are living in right now. One of those reasons as to why we wouldn't see him come to Dallas is the reputation that Jerry and Stephen Jones has when it comes to coaches in Dallas. They don't want to bring someone in with a history of bucking the system, even though Jerry Jones continuously bucked the system throughout his tenure. I feel that Brian Flores is one of those no-nonsense type of coaches and won't be a part of the go-along, get-along gang. If he sees a place on the defense that needs fixing, he's going to demand someone great fill that spot. Jerry and Stephen Jones won't like that one bit. Also, fans have to take Flores' history with the Miami Dolphins into consideration. Jerry Jones isn't going to want to bring a coach into this team that will sue them if the opportunity presents itself. I'm not saying that Brian Flores didn't have a legitimate reason to sue the NFL when he did. All I'm saying is that Jerry ain't gonna go for it. All I'm saying is that it's a possibility for it to happen if he were to be hired by the Dallas Cowboys and the Cowboys ran afoul toward him. I also feel that he wouldn't be down with the foolery that goes on in Dallas. He would be all about getting his defense in a prime position to win, dismissing the clown show that the Dallas Cowboys have been known for. Not only that, but Brian Flores is a prime candidate for a head coaching position, and if he took the coordinator role, it would have to include the possibility for advancement to the head coaching position in the near future. The Dallas Cowboys are currently attached to Brian Schottenheimer for the next 3 years. The only way Jerry and Stephen Jones would move off of Brian Schottenheimer is if he were to have a couple of bad seasons in a row. Then, I feel that they would want to move on from him directly. But I don't believe that it would be in the cards for Brian Flores. I feel that he wants to be a head coach sooner rather than later, and whatever team gives him that opportunity to be a head coach, he's going to go in that direction. If he did, in fact, continue to be a coordinator, I feel that he would continue to be the coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, because that would place him in a position where he could take Kevin O'Connell's position if that didn't work out. Not only that, but Brian Flores would be a highly sought-after coach in this league. Whether it's a defensive coordinator position or a head coaching position, teams would be chomping at the bits to have Brian Flores' services, meaning there would be a bidding war for his services. Every Cowboys fan who watches this video knows that Jerry and Stephen Jones are not good at bidding wars. They wouldn't offer him more than what they're paying Brian Schottenheimer, meaning Any other team would have to beat out $4.5 million, which isn't hard for any other organizations out in the NFL. So, Cowboys Nation, my predictions for the coaches that I talked about during this video, I got Jim Schwartz staying with the Cleveland Browns to take the place of Kevin Stefanski as head coach. I've got Bill Belichick either staying as the head coach of the Carolina Tar Heels or retiring altogether. I see Mike Tomlin taking a year off or maybe being the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. I see Brian Flores either staying the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings or becoming the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. But Cowboys Nation, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I gotta keep it raw and uncut with y'all. I gotta keep it real with y'all. In a perfect organization, Jerry and Stephen Jones would spare no expense in making the Dallas Cowboys a dominant football team, but we all know that's not the case. We got 30 years of evidence showing us the path that they're going to take, and the path doesn't involve paying a coach $100 million for 5 years like the New York Giants did with John Harbaugh. The evidence points to Jerry and Stephen Jones paying around $4 million per year just like they did with Matt Eberflus. Would I like for them to break the bank and bring in a top coach to be the defensive coordinator for our Dallas Cowboys? Absolutely I would. But I'm not going to put all my eggs into that basket only to get disappointed when it doesn't come to fruition. I'm going to keep my expectations where they have been, and that's on the position coaches that they've been interviewing. If they surprise me, then I'm all for it. But I just can't expect them to do something that they have never done, especially with one of their coordinator positions. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, who do you feel the Dallas Cowboys will hire as the defensive coordinator? Do you see where I'm coming from in this video? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help the channel reach its current goal of 20,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video, share the content with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device, make sure you hype this video. Doing so can help the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel reach even more Dallas Cowboys fans so we can root on our Dallas Cowboys together. And if you are DC for life and you can't wait to hear who they fill the defensive coordinator position with, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. You can catch the Madden 26 and College Football 26 gameplay on the new channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll put the link to that in the description. But like I said at the beginning of this video, don't shoot the messenger. I just don't want everybody in Cowboys Nation to get their hopes up like we did with the head coaching search, only to get disappointed or hit from the blind side once Jerry and Stephen Jones hire someone who's not one of the top tier coaches in this league. We all know what they should do, but we also know what they won't do as well. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys Fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.